All right, so we are on, I believe, problem number 25. Unfortunately, did not print off for me at home in the correct format. So we need to find the slope of, at this particular point. So let's start by finding the derivative of this. All right, so I'm going to do f of x of h minus f of x all over h. So I'll start here. 1 over, in this position, I'm going to put x plus h plus 2, subtract f of x, 1 over x plus 2 all over h. All right, I'm going to do, let's try doing the butterfly method. So on top, I have 1 times x plus 2, subtract 1 times this quantity, all over x plus 2 times x plus h plus 2 all over x. Now when I distribute, I get a negative x, a negative h, and a negative 2. Negative x, negative h, negative 2. And so when I combine like terms in the numerator on top, the x's are additive inverses, the 2's are additive inverses. I'm left with negative h. So I have negative h over, this is the numerator, over x plus 2 times x plus h plus 2. And now I want to divide that by h. Really, that's like divided by h over 1. So I want to turn the division into multiplying, and I'll multiply by the reciprocal of 1 over h. Okay, these are going to simplify. So I have a negative 1 times 1, so I have negative 1 on top, and the bottom I have x plus 2 plus x plus h plus 2. Oh, I can't see that. Now we want to evaluate this as a limit of h approaches 0. So I'm now going to take this newly rewritten function and I'm going to substitute 0 in for h. 0 goes in for h. Well, when 0 goes in for h, I have x plus 2 times x plus 2, because 0, when it's added to anything, doesn't change anything. So this becomes 1 over x plus 2 quantity squared. So that's what I believe. Is going to be f prime here. And now we can evaluate the slope at any point along that function. And we got to go back and see what was the point. Okay, the x value was a negative 1. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to substitute in a negative 1. So the slope is negative 1 over negative 1 plus 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So negative 1 over 1 is simply negative 1. Let's look at the next problem. Alright, so let me pop back over here so we can read what problem number 26 is. Since it didn't appear, I zoomed in. Here's problem number 26. We are provided with the function f and f of prime, and ultimately we want to write an equation of a line tangent to f of x that passes through a particular point. Okay, gotcha. So I'm given a point and I'm already given what my slope is. Great. So I'm going to plug in 3. I'm going to plug in 3 and see what I get here. Let me hop back to this. Basic information I was provided. This is subtraction, not a plus. I'm going to take my x value and I'm going to plug it in here. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. So y equals 2x plus b. So I'm using the format y equals mx plus b. Mr. McFarland may use it. Looks like when I looked at his answers to try these a point slope formula. Ultimately, they're just 2 different versions of the exact same thing. All right, I'm going to plug in 3 now for my x, plugging in 4 for my y. 4 equals 6 plus b. I subtract 6 to the opposite side. I get negative 2 equals b. Y equals 2x minus 2. Okay, so I'm going to start here by plugging in x plus h. And now subtracting f of x all over h. I remember we're going to evaluate that limit as h approaches 0 here. So I'm going to write this quantity down twice, x plus h times x plus h. When I distribute that, I get h squared plus 2xh plus x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 5x minus 5h minus 2. Distribute minus x squared plus 5x plus 2 all over h. Additive inverses, additive inverses, additive inverses. H squared plus 2xh minus 5h all over h. Remember, our goal is to evaluate the limit as h approaches 0. I'm going to factor out h on top, h plus 2x minus 5 over h. Let me make sure I did that right. This is an h on an n. H, that's right, okay. These are going to simplify to 1, and now when I plug in 0 for h, I'm only left with 2x minus 5. Okay, so f of prime is 2x minus 5. Gotcha. Now it tells me, this is the same as our slope, so it tells me, that's a 5, I'm getting messy. It tells me my slope is 7, so I'm going to substitute in 7. 7 equals 2m minus 5. I'm going to add 5 to the opposite side. I'm going to divide by 2, and I end up with 6. Okay, so I end up with 6. I meant to put an x here, not an m. It's supposed to be an x. So x equals 6. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to take this value and plug it into the original function. So I want to know what is the output when x is 6. So 6 squared is 36, and 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. You can't see any of that. And then minus 2. So 36 minus 30 is 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. What does that mean? It means I have an ordered pair of 6, 4. So I know my slope is 7, and I have an ordered pair to work with. So y equals mx plus b, and my slope is 7. My ordered pair is 6 for the x and 4 for the y, and I have 42. Now when I subtract 42 to the opposite side, it's 4 minus 42, which is negative 38. Negative 38. So y equals 7x minus 38. Y equals 7x minus 38. It's a little bit harder to see. Let's see if I can write that right over here. Y equals 7x minus 38 shows up on the picture.